What if I told you that cutting her off isn't the punishment you believe it is? You might think that going no contact will break her, that the silence will echo inside her chest and slowly tear her apart. But here's the harsh reality. Most women actually expect it. They've seen it before. Many of them even planned for it. No contact may quiet the noise, but it doesn't destroy the ego. It doesn't reverse the power dynamic, and it doesn't automatically make her feel regret. You're here because you were loyal. You gave everything. You invested your trust, your time, your energy. And when she walked away, she didn't just leave you alone. She left you questioning your own worth. But that isn't simply a wound. It's a wake-up call. This video isn't about petty revenge. It's not about begging for her to come back either. It's about becoming the man whose silence isn't just the absence of words, but the presence of real power. We're going deeper than no contact. We are rewiring your mindset, rebuilding your frame, and awakening the force inside you that makes her wish she never let go. This is Stoic Blessing, and today we'll show you how to crush her ego without ever lifting a finger. If you're done being haunted by her memory, if you're ready to crush the ego that once crushed you, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below, "I rise from rejection." Now, let's go deeper. Burn the illusion. Number 1, burn the illusion. You're not mourning her, you're mourning the idea you built around her, the fantasy you created, the version of her that only ever existed inside your mind. The woman who said the perfect things, who touched your soul, maybe even promised forever. That version of her was a projection, a mask formed from your loyalty, your hope, your desire to believe that someone could finally see you and never let go. But what did she actually do? Did she walk away without explaining? Did she breadcrumb you, play the victim, or run to another man while you were still hurting? That's not love. That's not loyalty. That's ego. And every time you replay those old messages or cling to memories where she seemed different, you keep feeding that illusion. You continue placing her on a pedestal she no longer deserves. This is the first strike in crushing her ego. You must burn the pedestal. Because every time you replay the fantasy, you hand her power. You validate her. You keep her inflated inside your mind. And if you continue seeing her as rare, as special, as someone you lost, then she wins. A Stoic man sees reality for what it is, not for what he wishes it were. You have to release that image you've been worshiping. That fantasy has become your cage. When you finally look at her without the filter of emotion, you'll start seeing the flaws you ignored, the patterns you excused, the red flags you painted over. She wasn't your soulmate, she was your teacher. And the lesson is simple. Stop loving potential. Stop romanticizing chaos. Start respecting yourself more than your attachment. Burn the illusion, and in those ashes, you'll find the truth. She didn't break your heart. She revealed where you had no boundaries. Become unreachable. Number 2, become unreachable. No contact is basic. It's the bare minimum. Any man can disappear physically, block her, mute her, or walk away. That's not real power. That's just the default setting. If you truly want to crush her ego, you must go deeper. You must become unreachable, not just to her phone, but to her influence. That means no emotional leaks, no Instagram stories meant for her, no subtle quotes hoping she notices the new you. Because the truth is simple. If she knows you still care, she still controls you. If her silence can still trigger you, if a cryptic post or seeing her name in your notifications still shakes you, then she's winning. And a Stoic man does not play to lose. To become unreachable, you must stop reacting and begin mastering detachment. This isn't about pretending to be cold. It's about being in control. You don't check her social media. You don't ask mutual friends about her. You don't allow her to live rent-free in your mind. You reclaim your inner fortress, because that's what she's really trying to breach. Not your phone, not your house, but your peace of mind. Understand this clearly. Women who are used to attention hate indifference. They crave reactions, even negative ones. But silence combined with zero emotional residue, that's torture. That's when the what-ifs begin to creep in. That's when the ego begins to crack. Not when you disappear, but when you stop caring. Being unreachable means she has no idea what you're feeling, thinking, or planning, and that mystery becomes magnetic. You turn into the unknown. You become the question mark in her mind that keeps her awake at night. And when she can't predict you, panic starts to set in. She begins wondering whether she really had the impact she thought she did. That's when the balance shifts. That's when you rise. Master the void. Number 3, master the void. Most men fear silence. They treat it like a waiting room, something to endure until she reaches out, until she regrets, until she returns. But that mindset is weakness disguised as patience. If you truly want to flip the script, you don't just survive the silence, you master it. You turn the void into your territory. A stoic man doesn't run from emptiness, he owns it. Here's the secret. The void is where transformation begins. Not in chaos, not in arguments, not in fake closure. It begins in silence. In the quiet moments where there's no distraction, no dopamine, no validation, that's where you finally meet your real self. The part of you that's still bleeding, the part that needs rebuilding, the part she never truly understood. And that's where the real power lies. Because while she's distracting herself, chasing attention, or pretending she's unfazed, you're going deep. You're building discipline. You're becoming sharper, colder, more focused. You're turning silence into your gym, your temple, your battlefield. The man who can sit comfortably with nothing, no validation, no affection, no noise, is the man who eventually becomes everything. Mastering the void means you stop obsessing over when she'll notice and start focusing on who you're becoming. You detach not only from her, but from the need for anyone to complete you. You begin to move differently. You speak less. You observe more. You build in silence intensely that when the world finally sees you again, they have no idea how you became this version of yourself. And she will feel it. Not through a text, not through a post, but through the absence of your weakness, through the shift in energy when you stop searching for her in the silence and instead use that silence to evolve. The mirror effect. Number 4, the mirror effect. You don't crush her ego by explaining yourself. You crush it by becoming a mirror she can't escape, a mirror that reflects every choice she made back to her with brutal clarity. Most men try to find closure. They write long emotional messages, hoping she will finally understand. But that isn't power. That's surrender. It's you asking for validation, and that is exactly what feeds her ego. If you truly want to shake her world, say nothing. Let silence speak for you. Let the consequences echo. When you stop chasing and begin reflecting her energy back to her, something shifts. She's forced to face herself. The attention she thrived on disappears. The drama she used to control you is gone. And now all that remains are the choices she made and your cold, calculated absence staring her in the face. This is the mirror effect. You stop reacting and instead become the consequence. Not out of revenge, but out of self-respect. You give her nothing to argue with, nothing to twist, nothing to blame, only her own decisions staring back at her, and the growing realization that she lost a man who changed because of you, not for you. That's when doubt begins creeping in. That's when her confidence starts to crack. Because deep down, she expected you to fold, to beg, to wait. But when you don't, when you evolve in complete silence, detached from needing her to notice, that's when she feels it. Regret, curiosity, insecurity. And the best part? You didn't force it. You simply mirrored it. You gave her nothing except her own reflection, and that's what she cannot handle. Withdraw all validation. Number 5, withdraw all validation. Ego survives on attention. It feeds on praise, reactions, jealousy, any signal that you still care. That's why even after she leaves, she might still orbit around you. A like here, a random story view, a casual just checking in message. Don't fall for it. This isn't affection. This is ego maintenance. She isn't asking, do you still love me? She's really asking, do I still have control? And this is where many men fail. They validate her even while pretending they don't. They post thirst traps hoping she sees. They over-explain why they're done. They throw subtle shade thinking it will hurt her. But every move like that proves she still matters.
If you truly want to crush her ego, remove the supply. Withdraw all validation, not with anger, but with indifference. A stoic man knows that attention is currency. Every like, every glance, every emotional reaction is payment, and she has already overdrafted. You don't owe her closure. You don't owe her a public announcement of your glow-up. Your silence and your success speak for themselves. You don't post to prove a point. You move like a man whose time is too valuable to waste on reminders. That's when her ego begins to starve. When she realizes your growth isn't a performance, it's real, and she isn't in the audience anymore. You don't try to trigger jealousy. You're simply finished giving your energy away like free samples. She wanted distance. Give her the cold vacuum of being forgotten. Because the deeper you sink into that quiet power, the more her ego begins to fracture. And nothing hurts an ego more than irrelevance.